Welcome back. We've talked about organizational habits, time, tools, and paperwork. Now let's talk about workspace, both at home and at school. We're going to discuss space, time, and habits in your workspace. Studying at home can be tricky. Lots of people think studying is only what you do right before a test. Big mistake. We learn best by revisiting information and practicing skills regularly. That's what homework's all about. I know you thought homework was just a way for teachers to torture you, but your teachers know that what I said is true. Practice does make perfect. If you're not practicing or reviewing for a test, you may be working on projects, such as writing papers or creating presentations, and some of that work needs to happen at home. So where do you do your student job when you're not at school? What does your home workspace look like? This is really important because your workspace combines all of our organizational habits. The choices you make for your workspace depends on what works best for you and what you have to work with. You may have lots of people sharing space in your home, so it may be difficult to find a place that is quiet and easy to work. On the other hand, you may have your own room, but you don't like to work in quiet spaces by yourself. Do your best to find a place where you can best concentrate and be comfortable. Try to stay away from things that will tempt you to stop studying or distract you, like your TV, phone, or video games. This might be the kitchen table or it might be your bed. The most successful students follow these rules when you're in your home workspace. Number 1. Clock in at your home workspace and remain there the full study time. Remember, we said in the time management video that 30 to 45 minutes of study time is the most effective. So study the full time, not just until your homework's done. If you finish assignments before the time's up, then use the rest of the time reviewing for future tests. Number 2. When you sit down at your workspace, review your calendar before you begin to make sure you're spending your time wisely on projects and assignments that are due. Check off the work in your calendar as it's completed. Your calendar is a very important tool in your workspace. While you're working, if you have difficulties with an assignment, write down questions for your teacher the next day. Be specific. Avoid saying, "I'm lost," or "I couldn't do my homework because I didn't understand it." Instead, make a note of exactly where you got stuck on the assignment and write down specific questions you need answered. If you have access to the internet, see if there are videos to help. Now keep in mind, this is a dangerous step because you might get sidetracked by other interests online. Use this solution sparingly. Being aware of what you need to help you solve your own problems is a skill your future boss will want from an employee. Try to find your own solutions, and if you need help, instead of complaining, ask specific questions. Number 4. When you have several assignments, start with the one you like the least. You want to start with that one while you're motivated and your brain is still fresh. You may be less likely to work as hard on that difficult assignment later in your study time. Number 5. Remember to pack up your tools as soon as you're done. Keep those tools organized. Number 6. When you've completed your study time, give yourself a reward. This might be time with your friends, your favorite show, or video game time. Withhold this treat until you put in your time. Research has shown that people who are able to hold off on rewarding themselves are more successful than people who can't. Start this practice now. So what about your workspace at school? That might be a little trickier. You're changing classes now, so that means your workspace changes several times a day. That's a really big challenge, but how you set up your workspace at school in each class is very important. Where you sit matters. In classes that are difficult for you, sit as close to the front as possible. You want the fewest distractions and access to the teacher. Students who are having trouble sometimes hide in the back of the room. Don't do it. You need to be seen and heard by the teacher more than a student who isn't having trouble in class. It's always more fun to sit with friends, unless they're a distraction. If you're finding your friends keep you from learning and you don't want to hurt their feelings, talk to the teacher privately and ask to be moved. Try to get to class as quickly as possible so that you have time to set up your desk with your tools before the class begins. Before class begins, take out as many of the tools you'll need as space allows. If there are instructions on the board, read through them. This will be especially effective if you find the class challenging and stressful, because taking these steps will make you feel more in control of the situation and create conditions for success. So that's it for now. Habits to organize time, tools, paperwork, and space. This video has a short quiz to complete now. When you're done with that, there's also a checklist you can download, print, and take with you to help you plan out your work habits for time, tools, paperwork, and workplace.